I'm Red Robinson, and these are the Legends of Rock. Tommy Roe hit it big in 1962 with his number one hit, Sheila. I asked him about the song and Buddy Holly's influence on that sound.
That wasn't an accident. That was Felton Jarvis, my producer, decided that we needed a gimmick. That was my first record. And actually, I had Sheila out before on Judd Records, which was Sam Phillips' brother's label out of Memphis. Different version altogether, didn't do anything. So Felton loved that song, and he said, I love that song Sheila, but we got to do something different because we didn't have those drums on the first version. So he said, Buddy Holly had passed away and got killed in the crash, and there was a void there. Nobody was really doing any Buddy Holly, so he said, we're going to do Buddy Holly. And he got the idea to put the drums on there, and it worked. It got us a number one record, and it got me into show business.
So did you write Sheila, Tom?
I wrote Sheila when I was 14 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And you'd had it, like in a trunk or something?
Back pocket. Old dirt ball from Georgia, carrying it around in his back pocket. Now, I wrote the song about a little girl I went to school with in high school, and her name was Frida, actually. And I wrote the song, Sweet Little Frida, you'll know her if you see her. And then, of course, when I got to the point of recording the song, everybody decided we'd change the name, so we changed it to Sheila.
But you had a string of hits when you look at the Billboard charts that went on for years. The Hooray for Hazel and the songs like Everybody and Sweet Pea and Jam Up and Jelly Tight and on.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. The Sheila was a hit in 1962. Then I went to England and I did a tour over there in 1963, and Chris Montez and I were headlining this tour, and there was an unknown group on the tour called the Beatles. Nobody had ever heard of the Beatles. This was in 63. And then, of course, 64, they came to the States, and the rest is history. And I was very fortunate to go through the decade of the 60s and have as many hits as I did, because a lot of the American acts really got pushed out of the box, by all the British groups coming over. And it was called the British Invasion, and boy, they really did invade, and I had hits right on into 72 and 73.
Oh, I know, Tommy. You made it all the way through that period. What do you think the reason was? I think the arrangements, when I listen to them all now, were right up front there with the sound that people were buying, too,
I just had a style that in the beginning of the 60s, I was the only one doing it. I mean, it was Tommy Roe sound, and of course, later on during the 60s, you had the Archies and the Sugars and Andy Kim, Baby I Love You, things like that was a real kind of my sound, So I was doing something that was nobody else was doing. You had a lot of different styles of music in the 60s. Acid rock, folk rock, British rock, and here's Tommy Roe with Oh Sweet Pea, Come On and Dance With Me. It's just different,
Where do you get inspiration for songs when you're writing them like that? I think the composing side's an interesting one, Tom.
Well, the songs in that era, the 60s, I was really a formula writer. In other words, I wrote a song for radio under 3 minutes. That's what they wanted at that time, and you know that, Red. Give us a song under 3 minutes. If it's over 3 minutes, we won't play it.
That's right.
So I was what they call a formula writer. I had a chorus, verse, chorus kind of thing, and it was that kind of structure in my songs. And I really just wrote for the market. And I kind of dug back to my teen years for ideas, and tried to keep them simple and melodic and happy and fun. And that's how I did it.
Rock with the Legends at redrobinson.com.